Guys, wanted to bring you another YouTube video. So the DNC just wrapped up today, so I think the election really starts now. Um, we'll see if Kamala Harris is actually going to do some real sit-down interviews or anything. But letting you know, Trump did propose three debates, and there's only going to be one, which is going to be with ABC. Her and the Democratic Party decline, which now you don't hear where they kept asking Trump, "Why are you afraid to debate her?" Well, now it's official. Like I said, it's going to be September 10th, but there was going to be September 4th with Fox News originally, but as a proposal, but she did not agree to it. I'm not sure because, again, based on the DNC, it was more attacking on Trump and no policy, no substance, and a lot of vibes and good feeling and joy. If you're voting based on vibes and joy, sure, you could vote for the Democrats on that. But if you kind of already know what they're going to plan on doing, it's an extension of what Biden's doing and done because she's part of the administration. The trick, like I said, which I think was a surprise again, if you are already in office, but now you're trying to pretend you're not in office, like you're that you're the underdog or never won or never been in office, that's crazy, ludicrous, and making it sound like Donald Trump's been in office for the last 3.5 years. Again, it's crazy how much they blame on Trump when he's had only 4 years out of the 16 years that the Democrats had power. The Democrats had 8 years with Obama and 4 years with Biden and Harris in that case. So if you want to go based on that, that's where you got to get some facts straight. And then you can have a comparison because, like I said, you could compare with Biden and Harris because Harris is an extension of Biden. I don't know how you're going to get away with that. And then you have Trump's record. So you can compare the two in that sense. I think that's why, which is interesting. Last Friday, she unveiled the economic plan, and yet it did not receive very well on both sides. It was more compared, like I said, I did that video comparing it where other countries like us that had socialism and communism, that's what happens. That is your plan. It is very similar. And then when Nixon tried in the 70s, it did not work. So we've tried it in America here. Um, but if you're lowering your standard, sure, I think Harris did fine. She was able to read a teleprompter. She was able to be coherent and better than Biden. If that's why they're going to go crazy and they feel confident in that sense, that's fine. But again, the Democrats did not have an open convention or anything. They took democracy away from their own party because those delegates originally went to Biden. I know Biden said, "Yeah, let's go with Harris," but remember, he did not believe in Harris. That's why he said he had to stay in the race. So you're saying this is one of the most dislike or disapproval, highest disapproval for a vice president and president, and now all of a sudden she's leading without a real economic policy or any real policies out there. And the policies that she thought of, she stole from JD Vance and Trump. So Trump did watch the DNC, especially on the last day. Like I said, I did a video on day one about it. After that, I think I knew the theme, and it's still correct because I watched just the last day of wanting to see if Harris it was going to give some real substance and target the independents and Republicans that might not want to vote for Trump. I don't see how you would want to vote for Harris if she has no clear cut where she wants to go. And so let me present this with Trump
Is why didn't she do the
after.
things that she's complaining about? All of these things that she talked about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do everything, but she didn't do any of it. She could have done it 3.5 years ago. She could do it tonight by leaving the auditorium and going to Washington, D.C. and closing the border. She doesn't need a bill. I didn't have a bill. I closed the border and created the safest border we've ever had in the history of our country. She could.
So again, Trump is leading in that the economics, inflation, on how people trust him more at this point based on that. And then also trust him on the border. Because again, now they're trying to erase that she was not the border czar or was not responsible for it.
Could have done all of these things.
And remind you that that's what I'm saying. If she's saying she could do or promise these things, she's still in office with Biden. So you can technically do these things right now. You're still in office for another 4 months, technically.
Things, and she could still do them. She's got 4.5, 5 months left. She can go there right now. She can do all of the things, many of the things that she's talking about and complaining about. It was a lot of complaining. She didn't talk about China. She didn't talk about fracking. She didn't talk about crime. She didn't talk about 70% of our people are living in poverty. She didn't talk about housing, really. The trade deficit. She didn't talk about child trafficking that she's allowed to happen.
Yeah, so you could watch the whole thing. He does talk for almost 10 minutes there. Kind of short interview, I thought, for him. Um, but I think Fox News had to cut it too. But some of the concerns, like I said, there's no substance. That's the same thing what I thought, and went from there. So let me play a little bit of Vivek. Um, he was outside. Again, there was protesters outside, and right here you can see there's a communist newspaper. Again, this is Kamala Harris allegedly dad taught Marxism. So this is where some of the party, supposedly the far left, and what she believes and what um, Walt believes, because this is part of their party right here. And Vivek is trying to talk to them because trying to reach and learn more. That's what I kind of believe. Like, hey, I believe in trying to learn and not divide on learning both sides.
She has two issues. She has not stated her actual policies, and the reason I respect somebody like Bernie Sanders more than I respect Kamala, and I've said this numerous occasions, I'm not saying it just right now, is if you have convictions, at least stand by them. If you believe in single-payer health care, if you believe in an effective national health care system for all, then stand by it. But why adopt those positions 4 years ago only to back off of them today? I could disagree with you, but at least have the position and stick to it. That's sort of what my criticism is.
And I agree with Vivek on that. Um, Even though I don't agree with Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, at least we know where they stand. At least we, as Americans, could vote if we want those type of policies for our economic plans. So, and be able to have a civil conversation that way. That's how things should be. And that's why I like Vivek in that sense because he can communicate on that. Let me fast forward about here. This is inside the DNC. This is, again, I'm not going to say it's all Democrat, but this is what I felt when I was in California. If you disagree in any slight way.
But then you're going to let me have this conversation.
You.
Okay,
You
thank
said I
you.
don't have the right to vote. Young people
Thank
are
you.
powerful.
Absolutely.
And we're going to show you November 5th.
Absolutely, you have the right
We're
to
going to
vote.
show
And I encourage everybody here to vote. So what I want to, the only thing that I ask for is they came on the stage and stomped their feet rather than having a conversation. Okay, and the thing I would love is to have an open debate. So you want to come out and do it? You want to come out and have a discussion?
Discrimination.
So, Vivek, you could hear you do have the right to vote. Again, Republicans and most Americans, I would believe, would say people that should not have the right to vote are illegal immigrants or anyone that does not belong in this country. That's why they ask you, are you a U.S. citizen? Those are the rights. So I don't know what he's talking about or referring. Again, there's probably more context or anything. Maybe he's not from this country, but it sounds like he is. He's a Gen Z, from what I could tell. There are more TikToks videos like that from Gen Z. Um, so right here, you can see Sky News Australia. I saw this and was recommended. Also, the full videos, I believe Benny Johnson had some of this. So this was outside and inside of DNC. This is what some American, I mean, you'll see part of the video, most low IQ voters. That's what the Australians think of us based on their interaction when they were here for the DNC.
That's a hard one.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala's?
Her being president.
That's your favorite policy position?
Oh, yeah,
How so?
because it covers everything that she defends.
I'm really excited for her to restore reproductive rights across America.
How do you think she'll go about doing that?
I don't know.
So a lot of them said, I don't know. And this one, let's go right about here. The Benny Johnson's part on his show. I saw that. It was very interesting.
Trump or Kamala? What do you think? Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh God, it's Kamala definitely.
Yes?
1000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly,
Yeah.
actually, don't use this.
That's funny. Because that's a lot of people. Because nobody knows her policy. Unless you lived in California, you know her policy.
Oh, Kamala.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kamala.
Kamala, why?
Well, she's honestly, I don't know.
Okay,
She
well,
does a lot more.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Because Trump sucks.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
All right. So if you're going based on that, I don't know, then you're going to be voting if you're okay with inflation and how things are going to be expensive. And if they're going to price control, hope that you could find food by that time, if that's what you're going to vote for. Let's see. And then let's go based on if she has added anything on her page. So the camera, let's go to our website because it's the day after the policy office or DNC. So like we can see, you could go straight to her website. All she's doing is asking for money. If you want $25, 47, 100, 250, 1,000, or other. Nothing about her policy. Actually, I forgot. Uh, Part of her speech, she did talk about her background trying to be part of the middle class. Okay, I could give you that. But again, at this point, it's nice. You're trying to relate to everybody, but you're not able to relate because now you're part of the elite. You're you're out of touch because you're trying to say you were not responsible for inflation or any of that based on what you voted as the tiebreaker. So there's nothing. Oh, you could buy merchandise for her. Contact us, donate to the Harris Victory Fund. Hmm. Donate by mail. I believe if that's the one where the Minnesota or let's take a look actually. I want to make sure. Donate to support Walter. Okay, I was thinking that's the one where you can actually help convicted people to get them out. Like what happened during the BLM. Yeah, that's it. No policies. So pretty much if there's going to only be one debate, I'll be surprised. So if it's one debate, she's trying to take a playbook from Biden, trying to do as little as possible so that way you're hiding behind. And I could see probably why the Democrats told her not to talk about her policies at the DNC because obviously both sides in the media did not like it. So, and I've seen a couple try to justify it, which is ridiculous at this point. I guess the only way, well, I'm going to, because she's not a great debater, she couldn't even beat Tulsi. Tulsi made her not even get one single vote even before the Iowa caucus. So I don't. Maybe that's why she's preparing a lot. I'll give her that. But if she messes this up, I'm going to see she's probably going to lose quite a bit of supporters and probably say, "Why did we choose her?" Because um, she, she couldn't hold herself with Tulsi. But I'll be surprised. She did prep a lot for this speech, so she might surprise us. But again, the bar might be very low because you're just trying to clear the Joe Biden bar at this point. All right, let's go ahead and see the Paul's Donald Trump. Let's see if he has any policies up. All right, same thing. He's asking for donations, platform, contribute, volunteer, join the movement, Agenda 47 platform. All right, I thought he would have policies too because they said he does. But they're right here. So he has 20 things listed as his policy, what he wants to accomplish. This is something you would expect for every candidate, and which is Agenda 47, 47th president, seal the border, stop the migrant invasion. So I agree with that. Carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. Agree. In inflation, make America affordable again. So I don't see any American don't want that at this point. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superhouse. Uh, let's see, large tax cut for workers and no tax on tips. So he has proof. He put that out first. Like I said, she stole that. She doesn't even have it on her website. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep, bear, and arms. Agree. Prevent world order, or sorry, prevent World War III. So again, she's trying to say that everything's joy, honky dory in around the world with the DNC, but again, we did not have any wars while he was in president in the office. And right here is interesting. Build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country, all made in America. So I like that. That's what's going on in Israel. In the weaponization of government against the American people, I agree. Stop the migrant crime epidemic to demolish the foreign drug cartels, gang violence, and lock up the violent offenders. Agree. That's part of sealing the borders, build our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again, strengthen and modernize our military. Agree in case we do end up going to war because of this current administration. And I don't want to get drafted. A lot of people don't want to get drafted um, because it's the lowest enrollment ever, and we don't have as many servicemen currently and women. Keep the U.S. dollar at the world's reserve currency. Fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts. So that's another lie that she said yesterday at the DNC that he was going to cut Social Security and Medicare. There's no, including no changes to the retirement age. So it's right here. It's ran here. You could go look. cancel the electric vehicle mandate and cuts costly and burn some regulations. So if you're in California and you're middle class or lower, where they were trying to mandate everybody, I believe by 2030 or 2035, where you have to have an EV car, that's what he's trying to do because he knows people can't afford this. Cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate radical sexual or political content on our children. So where he's saying where they were claiming that he's cutting all schooling, that's crazy. This is what he's referring to. So that's not a bad thing. Unless you're okay with this, then I could see why you would be okay wanting to vote for a Democrat on that. If you're okay based on that, keep men out of women's sports. That happened during the Olympics. This happens here. We've talked about it. Support pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. I understand that. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. Again, the Democrats in certain states or cities are saying you don't need to show proof of citizenship. This is why they want to leave the open borders allegedly. Again, um, this is why he's trying to make it clear. If as long as you're a U.S. citizen, and why wouldn't you have voter identification, driver's license, ID? So you're going to have some type of identification, most likely. Um, Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. So it's right here. I don't know when she's going to ever get her policy together or anything together on her website instead of begging for money at this point. That's all she has on her website and her background. Um, Let me know what you think, especially if you're independent, Republican, Democrat. Hopefully, we can have constructive conversations about this. And I'll probably tell and make reasons why and show my history of why and how I voted. Again, people should vote based on policy or what works for them. Again, if you're opposite of what he wants, fine. I understand. At least just like what Vivek said about Bernie Sanders, and like I said, Elizabeth Warren and some of those other Democrats, at least we know where they're standing. They're not hiding from it. Unlike Kamala Harris, she's flip-flopping or hiding from her true colors. And that's probably why she's taking a page from Joe Biden because that worked for them last time. Let me know what you think. Comment below. If you haven't seen any of my other political videos recently, like I said, I usually don't talk about politics, but because it affects me and my family at this point, and you could see some of my vlogs on that. Um, I can't imagine, I'm pretty sure most Americans are feeling the same thing we're feeling. So watch the other videos that I would recommend or look at my channel. Um, and together we could build a better tomorrow and click that like. So hopefully more people could talk about this. All right. Thanks for your support. And together we could build a better tomorrow. Thanks.